You know, for a while now, the MCU's multiverse saga has felt, well, a little all over the place, right? Kind of like a bunch of separate stories instead of one big epic narrative. But what if I told you it's all been part of a single massive plan? A plan seen through the eyes of the one person who could actually piece it all together. Today, we're diving into a theory that doesn't just connect the dots, it puts Doctor Strange right at the heart of everything. So let's just start with this one massive question. What if everything we've seen since Infinity War, every single new world, every cosmic threat, is just one move in a master plan that Doctor Strange saw play out years and years ago? Okay, so the first clue in this whole mystery, believe it or not, doesn't even come from the movies themselves. It comes from the real world. There's been this series of really strange teasers for the upcoming Avengers Doomsday film, and, well, they've got fans completely stumped. What's wild is that the directors aren't even calling them teasers. They're calling them stories or clues. We're seeing these quick flashes of Steve Rogers, Thor, even the X-Men. So what's going on here? Who do these clues belong to? Whose story are they telling? And this is where the theory really kicks into high gear. The idea is that these aren't just random marketing bits. They're fragmented visions, little pieces of a giant multiversal puzzle that only one person has ever seen in its entirety. Doctor Strange.
To really get this, we've got to rewind way back to that dusty alien planet, back to one of the most important moments in the entire MCU. We're going back to Titan.
Remember this? Using the time stone, Doctor Strange zapped forward in time to check out every single possible outcome of the fight with Thanos. And the number he came back with was just staggering. Over 14 million different futures. I mean, trying to even wrap your head around that number is almost impossible. And then you get that gut punch of a line. Tony Stark asks the question that's on all of our minds, and Strange's answer is just chilling. Out of all those millions and millions of possibilities, they only win in one. Just one. But here's the twist. This is the core of the whole idea. What if that one win wasn't just about beating Thanos? What if Strange saw that taking down Thanos was just step one in a much, much bigger and more dangerous game? A game against a threat that might wear a very familiar face. Okay, so let's chase that idea down the rabbit hole for a bit, because ever since that moment on Titan, you could argue the MCU has been dropping a trail of breadcrumbs for us, little hints that all point to a much bigger, hidden story that Strange has been trying to manage this entire time. Think back to this quote from the Ancient One in Endgame. She wasn't just worried about some broken timeline. She specifically says forces of darkness, implying there's an active, waiting threat that the Infinity Stones were somehow holding back. Then, in Multiverse of Madness, we got a name for the absolute worst case scenario, an incursion. And this isn't just about losing a battle. This is the complete and utter annihilation of one or even both realities. The stakes just went from high to, well, everything. And the lore just keeps getting deeper. We learn about these anchor beings, people who are so important that their entire universe just can't exist without them. And it's probably not a coincidence that the head of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, once called Benedict Cumberbatch himself the anchor of the MCU's whole multiverse era. So when you lay it all out like this, you can really start to see a pattern emerging. From Infinity War to Multiverse of Madness, each movie isn't just its own thing. It's another piece of the puzzle, revealing just how massive the threat is that Doctor Strange has been secretly dealing with all along. And that brings us to the most jaw-dropping part of this entire theory. Who is this ultimate threat? Who is the face behind those forces of darkness that Strange saw coming? The answer? Well, it's as brilliant as it is terrifying. Okay, you might want to sit down for this one. The theory is that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, but not as the hero we all loved. No, he's coming back as the main villain of the entire multiverse saga, a variant of Tony Stark who has become the one and only Doctor Doom. Just think about the poetry of that for a second. The man who is the absolute heart and hero of the Infinity Saga becomes the ultimate villain of the multiverse saga. The same actor playing the ultimate force for good and then the ultimate force for evil. That is some incredible, powerful storytelling right there. And hey, don't think they haven't been dropping hints. They have. Back in Multiverse of Madness, on Earth 838, Reed Richards uses tech that the movie's own VFX team confirmed was Doctor Doom's time door. There was that mysterious, empty seventh chair in the Illuminati's council room, and the whole place was crawling with Stark Tech sentries, which, let's be honest, could easily become Doombots. The seeds are already there.
So let's put it all together. What does this actually mean for the MCU? It means the whole multiverse saga, with all its seeming chaos and disconnected stories, might just be the careful, meticulous execution of Doctor Strange's one and only winning path.
And we have to remember this line. The Ancient One, the wisest sorcerer of her time, believed Strange was destined to be the best of them all, not just as a powerful magician, but as the protector who could navigate this impossible, tangled path forward.
And suddenly, it all just clicks into place, doesn't it? Every single action Strange has taken makes perfect, calculated sense. Giving up the Time Stone, letting Tony make his sacrifice, even that seemingly reckless spell in No Way Home, they all stop being mistakes and start being necessary moves in a cosmic chess game. He's been guiding the entire universe toward the one future where they can win against the real threat, Doctor Doom.
So we're left with this one final, massive thought. Are we just watching the Avengers saga continue? Or have we actually, this whole time, been watching the story of Doctor Strange? A story where the fate of all reality rests on the shoulders of the one man who saw the end, long before it ever began.